Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the 212A. It's the Tier 9 Soviet SPG. It's located on the south spawn of Prokhorovka and it's under the command of Dr. Boresh. And we can't see which equipment he's opted for because it's not showing.
Let's get this show on the road.
Game on. Well, this is the Arty that was based on the KV-222, which, as you know, was a precursor to the KV-3. So it's basically a KV-1 with extra armor. Yes, I know it sounds confusing, but that's what it is. An Arty based on the KV-1, upgraded with more armor, but never actually put into production. Now, it's got the 203mm howitzer. It's got 40 rounds, 900 alpha, 52mm pen, 10.4 meters on the burst range, between 12.5 and 28 seconds of stun. Okay, I like what he's doing. He's looking for any chance that the enemy might be in residence in the spotting bush. Normally there is somebody up there. He's lining up a shot on the CC1 Mark II. Fires a round in, but fortunately, he looks away immediately after he fires, so we didn't actually get to see the shell actually hitting the target, but we do know he did 114 hit points of damage. He should have changed position. He didn't. It's very bad news if you don't change position down there, because some of the players on the enemy team might actually know where to actually place the shell for a blind shot on the enemy Arty, so they can actually fire a round in and hit the bushes at the end where Dr. Boresh is. So if he doesn't relocate, he could be taken out of the game. The CC1 Mark II is still there. That was a heat round just hitting him. Rounds out. He stayed to watch this time, and we did actually see it. I'm glad he did. He should still be changing position. He's not doing that. There's two Artys on both teams. The other one on our team is a Batchat 155-55, the French SPG. And on the enemy team, they've got two Batchat 155-55s. Now, they tend to fire a bit more quicker than the 212A. Slightly longer on its load time. Rounds out. Just in front of him. Now, the standard reload by the book is 37.39 seconds. Dr. Boresh has got it down to 31.11. You can see from this firing position, he can actually get a shell there in 2.5 seconds. And if you're outside the Arty watching, it actually flies through the air very high. And you think, well, it would take longer to actually reach the target the way that it flies, but it's actually fairly quick. Lined it up. Event going on. Rounds out on the Skoda. He looked away, but he did get a very close hit. 412. And we just saw the bombers crash. Again, he hasn't really changed position. Now, I can't stress it enough. I've actually got friends or players or streamers who actually know exactly where to place the shell if they're in a tank, so they can actually hit the Arty without actually having to see it. So you really do need to change position. Go for the Skoda again. Rounds out. Again, he looks away. And we didn't get to see the Skoda getting killed. Again, you're trying to deny us the opportunity of seeing the enemy tank destroyed. And we've worked that out psychologically. Players who look away tend to look away because they don't like seeing a tank hit by an artillery shell, because, of course, it reminds them of what it was like when they were in a tank being hit by an Arty shell. And they don't like to repeat that fear. And he's done it again. Well, as we give to all players, we give them a warning. We say, you know, if you keep looking away, then we'll look away from your replays and we won't touch them. Now they are definitely trying to outflank our guys on the other side of the map. We could redress that by putting a shell into that UDAS. Guy keeps pulling back, and he had a bit of an adjustment there. It's a very narrow arc on this Arty, only 4 degrees either side of the center line, 8 degrees in total. That means if you go outside the arc, then the rescue gets bigger. And he's done it again. And he just wiped out the BZ176 in the process. We do not appreciate a player does this. If they keep doing this, we just ignore their replays, even if they're really good ones. Well, the other Arty in our team just got that kill. Meanwhile, Mars is pulling back down the hill because he just saw one of his teammates wiped out and thought, yeah, I don't want to be the next one hit. We can't see that UDAS 16 either. Now that means he's probably pulled away. Otherwise he would have been spotted. Now that our guy is in the center of the hill, he's more likely to proximity spot or actually see the UDAS 16. But instead we're switching back to the road on the west side of the map. Our guys are starting to advance. Okay, straight over to the Scorpion. Soviet SPGs tend to dial in quicker on enemy tanks. He's fired, splashed him. At least we got to see that one as well. Yeah, this is the set of bushes you should not be sitting behind. As I said, there are players out there, they know where to put the shell in order to hit you. Even if you're hidden from view, they can still get you. So you really do need to be careful if you're on this side of the map. Okay, the T-54 got wiped out with the second shot. And he's done it again. And yet again, that's his third kill where he's actually killed the tank, but not actually shown us the tank being killed. I have a feeling this is going to be the last replay we do for Dr. Vorish. And again he does it. Now he's lined up directly behind the batch at 155.55. And that's bad news because 2 tracers are much easier to see than 1. And if he goes for the batch chat, he might actually hit the 212A behind him or vice versa. So it's not particularly nice if somebody aims for Dr. Vorish that he takes out his own teammate in the batch at 155.55 instead. Luckily for him, the enemy is not trying to counter battery at the moment. That could change. Rounds out. And at last he actually looks. And we do get to see serious damage to that CC1 Mark II. Here's a one shot. In fact, I would say that that CC1 Mark II is a splash kill. And yes, I think the bat chat thinks the same, actually. I think he was just angling there for the possibility that that tank destroyer was sitting behind that wreck so he could pick it up. They're playing whack-a-mole at the moment with the tank destroyer. They're sure he's there, but they just need to keep firing shells in until eventually one of them gets him. Over on the east side of the map, this Mars has turned up again. Of course, that's the Progetto lookalike. We're not loaded yet, so we can't fire the shell in, but it does look like he's using those two wrecks for cover. And yeah, it looks like the Batchat's also thinking in this general direction. Our Udas needs to get a bit closer and show us where he is. There he is. Yeah, go for it. Now. Oh, and he got the timing right, but he did get a critical hit, but he looked away again. Despite the fact there's 7 tanks left on each team, and it's not showing any enemy tanks on this side of the map, I suspect that there are some enemy tanks further up the west side of the map, so he needs to be careful that he doesn't get shot at. Our SU-130 PM's moved into the bowl, so he's headed north. Okay, we've got the target. Just need to dial in. And he's just taken big damage, so we might be able to get a kill here. He's fired the shell in, and he did get the kill, and we've missed sight of that kill going in. I mean, Dr. Boris is doing his best to ruin this replay by not showing any of the damage. And I said, it's actually a psychological thing, because as a tank player, and he is a tank player, he doesn't like seeing tanks get hit by Arty, because it reminds him of how he feels when he gets hit by Arty. So he doesn't like showing it happen. He looks away, he averts his eyes when he sees something he doesn't like. I think most people who send replays into our channel know full well that if they do that, and of course they do look away, I'm very critical of it and won't do their replays in the future. And we just saw the chaser coming out from there. That means the enemy Arty is in that spot. Now he's actually fired at the barrel, and yes, he did get the hit. Knocked the tree down as well. Somebody is there. And in fact, the tree's gone down, so they weren't wiped out. More than likely, it was one of the Batchats. Both the other tanks they've got on their team are Borsig and an SU-130 PM. They're both very susceptible to Arty fire. If they do get hit, they normally end up getting a penetrating shot. He's fired the round in again. Nice bit of forestry work. And he did stay to look, and I'm pretty certain the reason why he is actually staying close to the Batchat is so he can get the side-by-side skill. Increase in the efficiency bonus. Of course, the other way to do that is to get the communications expert as well. There's a fair bit of rude language going on. There's the Borsig. Rounds out. Yep. Completely nuked. Out the game he goes. One of the Batchats has been spotted. He goes. The other Batchat's over in this corner. And there he is. So there's only 2 left. And he just took a massive hit. We're not loaded, so we can't shoot. We can't participate. And the Batchat on our team takes another kill. Well, actually, he's only had 1 kill so far. But there's only 1 enemy left. It's the SU-130 PM. And, oh my god, he's right on target. And the SU-130 PM goes down. And that is the end of the game. Here's the end of battle stats. And that was an ace tanker for Dr. Voresh in the 212A. It's not his first. He's had them before. He also got a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. In fact, he ended up getting 5. 1 short of getting a top gun and 1/3 of the enemy team. He got a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 13 in this one. He got a Gauze medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle. And on top of all that, he got the High Caliber for dealing the most damage in the game. And it's a pity that we didn't get to see some of those tanks that he killed, because he did get some nice kills. His win rate was 6,970, which is Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team score. Well, there you go. Highest damage, 4,620 hit points to Dr. Vorish. Second highest in this game turned out to be the Object 257 on his team, who actually got a patrol duty and 2,424. And the third highest damage, the Mars on top of the hill. He got 2,350 hit points of damage, just beating out our SU-130PM at 2,346. The Kari on our team got a Pescucci's medal, so he was the one who got the Artys in both cases. And I think we mentioned that the 257 got a patrol duty. If we look at the number of kills, we can see the highest number turned out to be Dr. Vorish. 5 kills to him, 4 kills to the SU-130PM and also to the Kari. And on the enemy team, their SU-130PM managed 3 kills. When it came to base XP, he's got that one as well. So he's got the top in all 3 columns. 1,085 went to Dr. Vorish, the only player to get over 1,000 base. 938 went to the 257, and 937, just 1 experience point below, goes to the Scorpion. He fired 18 rounds, got 8 direct hits on the enemy, a 1 penetrating shot, 15 splash. Damage of 4,620 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. Let's have a quick check to see which one he actually penetrated. I have a suspicion that it's the Borsig. Yes, it was. Yes, 950. I did mention Borsigs, SU-130PMs, Guerrilla 15s, Waffenträgers. They're so easy to penetrate. That's why they're priority targets. The moment you see one of them, go for it, because if you can get it, then you're going to get a big yield out of that shell. Going back to the detail, 8 enemy vehicles damaged, 5 killed, 563 hit points of stun assist of 12 stuns. So at least they were hitting the enemy targets after he stunned them. On this battle, he actually suffered a small loss. 580 credits. It's nothing really, but it's down to the fact that consumables. He had to pay for the full price for the consumables. A lot of players, Arty players, will actually buy up in advance, so you don't have to pay for the consumables, and it actually improves your figures overall over the period that you've still got the consumables available. I think it's better because obviously you're paying for the consumables at only 10,000 credits per shot. Whereas if you pay for it in the battle, you're paying 20,000. So it actually makes it sound worse than it actually is. He also got 4,883 experience points, including getting a reward for 3,256. So, Dr. Vorish, my answer to you is I will take another replay from you, but only one more. If you do it again and look away after you shoot, then obviously I won't be able to take your replays in future. In fact, I'll just reject the next one straight off. I will process this one. I will publish it, but I must remind you that we don't like replays. We don't look at the target being struck. We want to see the target being struck and wiped out. We want to see your skill and where you put the shell to make it work. But if you keep looking away, you ruin the enjoyment for Arty players by doing that. So please do not do that. I will still accept a replay from you, but if you do it again, that will be the end. So I hope you enjoyed this replay. I know I would have been very angry, and I think a lot of players, Arty players who watched, would have actually said, well, I'm not going to watch this anymore because he keeps looking away. But please do remember that, Dr. Vorish, you ruin the enjoyment for the other players who actually watch your video. And so please don't do it in the future. And thank you for watching.